The restaurant was filled with the quiet sound of glasses touching, soft music playing, and the gentle smell of freshly baked bread. Sunlight came through the tall windows, spreading golden light across the clean white tablecloths. It was a regular afternoon during the week, but for Anna Miller, it felt like another challenge in a life already filled with quiet struggles. She fixed her apron, wiped her shaking hands on it, and made herself smile politely as she walked toward a table that would soon change everything. Not just for her, but for everyone who saw what was about to happen. If you believe that kindness, respect, and second chances can change lives, then please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe because stories like this remind us what it truly means to be human. Anna had been working double shifts for weeks at Lamb Zone, a fancy restaurant where rich people came to show off their money and the servers tried to blend into their uniforms. Her mother's hospital bills had been growing, and her younger brother needed school fees she couldn't pay. She rarely complained, even when being tired made it hard to see or when her feet hurt from endless hours of work. She carried herself with quiet dignity, the kind that only people who've known real hardship have. That afternoon, a group of businessmen came in, their confidence filling the room before they even sat down. Among them was Carl Schneider, a billionaire investor known for his harsh deals and words sharper than any knife. His presence made people at nearby tables whisper. Power has a way of making others feel small. He wore a perfect smile, but it didn't reach his eyes. He enjoyed being noticed, admired, even feared. Anna noticed him too, but only because it was her job to serve him. As she walked toward the table carrying their drinks with steady hands, she could feel their eyes on her, the kind of stares that judged a person's worth by their uniform. Carl leaned back in his chair, speaking in fluent German to his friends, thinking no one around him understood. His tone was full of pride, as he made fun of the waitress's shaky hands and how clumsy poor people look when they try to act graceful. Laughter burst out around the table. The sound cut through the air like a mean echo. Anna stopped for a second, her heart beating fast. She understood every word. After all, she wasn't just a waitress. She was a former language student who once dreamed of becoming a translator. But dreams don't always survive real life. After her father's death, she had to leave university and take whatever job she could find to support her family. She wanted to walk away. She wanted to pretend she hadn't heard it. But something inside her, a quiet, unbreakable strength, wouldn't let the moment pass. She set down the drinks gently, took a deep breath, and turned to Carl with calm eyes. Then, in perfect German, she replied, her tone steady, her words careful, and her voice carrying the quiet power of someone who had nothing left to lose. She told him that the respect doesn't come from money, and intelligence doesn't come from status. She reminded him that the language he used to put down others was one she had once studied out of love, not to show off, but to connect with people. The laughter at the table stopped immediately. The room seemed to hold its breath. Carl's smirk disappeared. For the first time, he looked truly unsure of himself. His friends glanced at each other awkwardly, their confidence melting away in silence. Anna didn't raise her voice or ask for pity. She simply stood her ground with quiet dignity. Then she walked away, leaving a shocked billionaire staring at his reflection in a wine glass. For the rest of the meal, Carl said very little. The man who once laughed with him now avoided looking at him, their earlier pride replaced by discomfort. Something in Anna's words had hit deeper than she meant. Later, when he asked for the bill, he asked to speak with the manager. Everyone thought he would complain, maybe even demand she be fired. Anna's heart dropped as the manager called her over. She prepared herself for embarrassment, the familiar pain of being punished for speaking the truth. But instead, Carl stood up. His face was different now, no longer proud, but strangely human. He apologized, first in German, then in English. The restaurant went silent again, shocked at the sight of a billionaire apologizing to a waitress. He admitted that he had judged her, that he had forgotten what respect truly meant. Then he left a large tip, not out of guilt, but gratitude, and walked away quietly, his group following behind. Anna didn't cry, though she wanted to. She simply breathed out, her heart shaking with relief. She had stood up for herself and for every person who had ever been made to feel small. A few weeks later, life went on as usual. But then, one morning, the restaurant received a letter addressed to Anna. It was from Karl Schneider. Inside, he wrote that their meeting had made him rethink his behavior and his company's culture. He shared that he had grown up poor himself, something he had buried under layers of ego and success. He confessed that he had lost touch with humility and empathy, two things that had once guided his journey. He told Anna that her courage had reminded him of the kind of person he used to be before wealth took over him. Included with the letter was a scholarship form and a sponsorship offer. Carl had set up a fund in her name to help underprivileged students continue their education. He wanted her to be the first recipient. Anna couldn't believe it. Tears filled her eyes as she realized that a few honest words had not only defended her dignity, but also brought back humanity in someone else's heart. She accepted the scholarship, went back to her studies, and eventually became a professional translator, the dream she had once given up. Years later, she would be invited as a guest speaker at a university event about resilience and kindness. As she stood on stage looking out at the students' faces, she remembered that afternoon sunlight, that restaurant, and that cruel laughter that turned into silence. She told them that kindness is not weakness, it's strength disguised as gentleness, and that sometimes standing up with grace can change even the hardest of hearts. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the power of kindness, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because the world needs more stories that heal and inspire. And before you leave, I have a small request. Comment below what you would have done if you were in Anna's place. Would you have stayed silent, or would you have spoken your truth like she did? As the sun dipped low outside the restaurant that day, casting warm light across the empty tables, Anna stayed back a little longer, cleaning up as always. But this time, something inside her had changed forever. She wasn't just a waitress anymore. She was proof that dignity can't be bought, that words can heal, and that even a single moment of courage can echo through another person's life like sunlight breaking through a storm. And somewhere in a tall glass building far away, a billionaire sat by the window holding a letter with her name on it and whispering a quiet thank you to the girl who reminded him that wealth means nothing without heart.